Ang Pilipinas ay sagana sa biyaya at ganda, ngunit paulit-ulit din tayong hinaharap ng malalakas na bagyo at kalamidad.
Sa loob ng 40 taon o 40 years, nanindigan ng ADRA Philippines sa iisang layunin: tumulong, maglingkod at magpatatag ng mga komunidad sa bawat sakuna. At ngayong 2026, pag-usapan natin, ano pa ba ang maaari nating gawin? Lalo na't sa bawat taon, dumarami ang inaasahang sakuna sa bansa.
Today, we're sharing real stories, impactful work, and the difference we're making together.
Stories of hope, courage, and community that inspire us to do better, only here on
ADRA TV. Hello everyone! Magandang hapon, maayong hapon, good afternoon to everybody that is watching right now. Yes, ADRA TV, live na live po tayo ngayong hapon and we're so happy. Kasama ko pa rin si Hazel. Hi Hazel!
Hello Ate Shan!
Ayun, we're so excited for today's discussion, but before that, we'd like to welcome everybody that is watching right now, especially sa lahat ng nanonood via TV sa ating mga Paglawom dito po sa Cagayan de Oro City. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Watching from our local antenna, Channel 25, Parasat Cable Channel 17, and our nationwide coverage, GSAT 37. Sa lahat po ng nanonood, ADRA TV is live po every Monday. Once a week po tayo. Alas 5 hanggang alas 6 ng hapon. And we're speaking in a language that we're hoping to reach Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. ADRA TV is a program in collaboration of between ADRA Philippines and Hope Channel South Philippines. Ngayong hapon po, we're inviting everyone to stay with us and converse with us kung ano ang ating mapapag-usapan ngayong hapon. Hi, Haze!
Yes, Ate Shan. And also, nais rin natin batiin ang ating mga tagapagpanood o viewers who are currently watching right now via their phones or watching through our Facebook pages from Hope Channel South Philippines Facebook page, and also those who are watching through our main page, ADRA Philippines Facebook page. Hello, hello po. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. And again, don't forget to engage in the comment section. Press a reaction, whether heart, like, sad, angry.
Yun.
And also, don't forget to share this episode link to your online friends.
Ayun. And sa lahat ng nanonood, very soon, no? We hope mamili tayo ng isang tagpapanood and then we give them, ADRA merch. Yes. Soon, very soon po, makakapaglaw mga kaibigan na nanonood ngayong hapon. Now, Hazel, this afternoon, we will talk about the humanitarian aspect or the humanitarian work, especially in emergency responses of ADRA Philippines. Alam naman po natin, kahit na 2025, number 1 pa din po ang Pilipinas in when we talk about World Risk Index, no? When we talk about that, parang sinasabi po natin na ang Pilipinas ay number 1 sa buong mundo among 119 countries na at risk sa mga disasters at mga kalamidad. Ramdam naman po natin by Hazel, especially last year. Now, sa trabaho ni ADRA Philippines for 40 years, I believe it has been the bulk also of its work, and even outside the country, Haze, kilala tayo na maraming kalamidad, bagyo, delubyo na pinagdaanan. Now for 2026, ano bang bago? Ano bang gagawin natin? Anong mangyayari? Are we ready for 2026? Alam naman na with the climate change, with the changes dito sa buong mundo, maraming sakuna maraming mga mas lumalakas ang mga bagyo, gano'n. So, makakausap po natin ang head person or ang emergency response coordinator ng ADRA Philippines na si Kuya Carl Mark Morta. Later po makakausap natin. Marami tayong itatanong sa kanya. But now, kami ni Hazel, pagdating naman sa emergency response, Haze, naging involved din tayo. How many years have you been working sa ADRA?
I've been with the organization since 2023, but I think siguro when it comes to the emergency responses, mas naging involved ako last year, 2025. And starting January, kasi 'di ba, I was deployed sa isang project
Yes.
na ang purpose din is to give assistance to those survivors of the previous year na mga survivors po ng kalamidad. So, last year po ako, Ate Shan, medyo talagang sobrang naging involved together with Sir Mark sa emergency responses. Ikaw naman, Ate Shan.
No, I've been involved, I think, nakapasok ko sa ADRA dahil sa emergency response din. But it was parang umabot siya ng 6 months or 8 months na implementation dahil naman sa COVID-19. So parang yung exposure ko talaga, sa pagtatrabaho ko sa ADRA Philippines, andun talaga sa emergency responses. And it really changed the way I see life in general. Iba ang naging epekto sa akin nung naging engage ako sa mga nanonood, no, pag may mga kalamidad, may lakas na bagyo, minsan yung nakikita lang natin sa TV, yung mga numero.
Yes.
Ay, may mga 100,000 na mga pamilyang inilikas. Now, pag nandito ka, nagtatrabaho as humanitarian worker, nakikita mo nakakausap mo, nakikita mo yung mga taong yung storya at behind those numbers. And so it really changed the way I see life in general. And I would say I have been blessed dahil nakita ko to and mas nag-iba yung buhay. Now, Hayes, sa ating exposure sa emergency responses, may storya ba? Is there a particular story na parang nagpabago sa'yo that stayed in you, yung hindi mo makalimutan na story, and it changed you in the way you look at or think about humanitarian work?
Siguro for me, Ate Shan, kasi sa akin kasi 'di ba, tayong mga humanitarian is talagang exposed sa mga ganito, no. Although last year lang ako medyo talagang na-expose,
Super.
but we are expected to be exposed sa mga ganito. Sa akin lang kasi, Ate Shan, meron akong own parang preventive measures sa aking self, no.
Why do you think so may kailangang preventive
kasi
measure?
ayaw ko ring maubos.
Nakakaubos.
Nakakaubos talaga ang trabaho. But in relation to your question, wala na masyado akong matandaan na striking na story. Although, iba-iba yung in-interview ko every time na pupunta tayo sa isang lugar na mayroong disaster. But I think for me, what really caught my attention talaga when it comes to our work is that, kumbaga, sa akin, I thought I already have this level of social awareness. Yun pala, parang na-realize ko, ay, ang performative ko namang tao, no, when it comes to social awareness. Parang magaling lang ako sa pagiging keyboard warrior online, but it's really different pag nakita mo siya in real life. So, that's how this work impacted me. Kumbaga, usually, naaawa tayo, di ba?
Oo.
Yes.
Kasi imagine yung mga nawalan ng
Yes.
bahay, yung parang their whole lives, they work para ma-build yung bahay
Yes.
nila, mabigyan yung pamilya nilang maayos na buhay, yung hanap buhay, iba din yung pag-usa. And then, it's a really different story if you lose a loved one. Pamilya na nawala dahil sa kalamidad. And it's painful.
Yes.
And yes, yung awa andun.
Yes. So, I think yun yung una usually na feeling or emotion, di ba, na nafe-feel natin. But for me, it's really quite different. Parang, every time na nasa field ako, parang na-frustrate ako.
Oh, bakit naman?
I think for me siguro, I'm not blaming anyone, but I think siguro sa akin, we could have done better, no? I could have done better to prevent this to happen.
Ah.
Diba? Kasi I believe we are all given the brain to process things, to analyze things, and to use this brain to, ease the burden of other people. So,
Ayun.
I think yun on my end.
Ayun naman. No, I'd just like to add, our country director, Doc Hope, is watching right now. Hello po, Doc.
Doc.
And sa ating mga kasamahan sa ADRA Philippines, if you're watching right now, I believe, di ba, last year, na-deploy po tayong lahat, naubos lahat ng
Yes.
tao sa country office. You may want to share also your experience or sa ating mga kaibigan na naka-experience ng kalamidad and paano yung naging experience niyo po din. We have here also our Christian Roda. Have a blessed Monday afternoon, everyone. ADRA TV, greetings from Noveleta, Cavite. Saka naman, Hayes, yung nagpabago, kasi di ba, when you say about humanitarian work, parang tulong. Di ba? Hindi mo makukuha yung word na help, tulong. The way I defined help is reactive. No, parang, ay may nanginanglan, o bigyan. Kailangan nila, o bigyan. So parang, yun yung concept sa akin ng humanitarian work. You give, you provide, ganon. Now, I think that was in Maguindanao. I think the year was 2021, 2022. I do not really remember it, but it was Typhoon Paeng. Yung isang community doon, Hayes, na ang sabi ng parang leader is you have to evacuate kasi babaha. So yung mga nanay, yung mga bata, nag-evacuate ng gabi. Parang isang maliit na bahay ang in-evacuated kasi it was a higher ground. Now without knowing, they did not expect na yung mountain po, mga kaibigan sa likod, nag-landslide. And around 60 to 80 people lost their lives. And I got to stand on the excavation site. Doon ako nag-change nung parang, when you say humanitarian, hindi lang bigay, tulong, ito, bigas, pagkain. Yun yung sabi mo, nakaka-frustrate. It should have been prevented as well. So when I think about humanitarian work, we have to work also on preventing things to happen, diba? And that is something that's important. Na I believe that builds resilience and hope to other communities as well na parang hindi tayo hihiga and matatakot na baka bukas tayo naman ang wala na or tayo naman yung maubusan or maaapektuhan. So here in ADRA, I believe it's starting to do that in a way. It's generating na nangyayari na siya. Now, Hayes, I have here another question. How did those real-life experiences shape the way we respond sa nakikita mo ha? Not just in providing relief, but in caring for people's mental and emotional well-being. A trivia for everyone. Kami po ni Hazel are both. Andito po kami sa field of mental health, of psychosocial support. Hayes, ano masasabi mo?
I think for me, based lang din sa mga na-experience ko last year. Kasi talagang last year talaga yung back-to-back talaga na emergency responses. No? Siguro siya, what I really saw siguro na for me is, hindi naman siguro siya unique or different, is how we integrated the PSS talaga in our emergency response. Although hindi ako directly kasi sa'yo naman yung talaga yung field na yan.
Kasama naman tayo, girl.
But it's kasi, for me kasi parang, I feel, I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, if I can word this this situation correctly, but parang, kasi, di ba, pagbibigay tayong tulong, parang one transaction lang. Bigay ng cash assistance, bigay ng food pack.
Tapos alis na.
Ganun. So what I really like about us in the recent responses is that hindi lang yung tangible na tulong yung binibigay natin, but also in-integrate natin yung PFA, no? Di ba? Hindi mo malalaman pala.
Please explain to our viewers ano ba yung PFA, Hayes. Very short po. PFA is psychological first aid.
Psychological first aid. So, basically, it's like parang ano lang, higher version of kamustahan, no? But
Yeah.
di ba, Tisha, like for example, yung mga tumatanggap ng tulong, di ba, minsan mga tatay,
Oh, mga-
malalakas tingnan.
Uy, ay, na-remember ko yan na storya.
Yeah, so di ba, maybe ikaw, Tisha, may
Yeah.
ma-share ka bang experience?
You have mentioned that, no? Mga kaibigan, there was this one incident na nagbigay tayo ng psychological first aid. So, naging kasama po natin ang AMHA or Adventist Mental Health Association. Doon naman po sa SEPUM or sa Southeastern Philippine Union Mission. And nakasama natin sila. Tapos, nagbigay tayo ng cash assistance. Tapos, yung nakatanggap, parang may isang area na nakakausap natin sila. And doon po, mga kaibigan, may isang father, di ba lalaki?
Yes.
Barako. May dala siyang bata. Alam mo, hindi ko po malilimutan kasi nakausap niya yung isa nating na psychological first aid provider. Alam niyo po nangyari, nakita po natin si tatay na naluha. Naiyak. And that was very touching for everyone. Hindi kasi nakikita sa lahat ba na apektado po hindi lang physical, but kahit na yung emotional, kahit na yung psychological, paano ba tayo babangon? Ano bang mangyayari sa atin? Kasi po doon, may naiyak po si tatay kasi 'di ba, malakas yung it was an earthquake last year sa Davao Oriental. Malakas po yung pagyanig. And he thought na he could have lost the family, ng mga anak niya. So, dun po natin nakita kung gaano ka-importante na, you've mentioned, hindi lang yung one-time transaction, pero yung puso. Yung puso. I remember ko yung last episode natin. Manood po kayo sa last episode natin. Andun po sa ADRA Philippines na page with Miss Rose. And doon talaga, yung humanitarian worker na, humanitarian
Sa puso
worker,
humuhugot.
sa puso humuhugot. Ayun, makakausap natin si Kuya Mark later, no? Mga kaibigan.
Talaga yung sobrang daming experience.
malaki din yung naging experience niya with emergency responses. And I believe it took a toll on his body. Kasi last year, ang daming nangyari. Bagyo, saka yung mga earthquake po na malakasan na nangyari sa Cebu at sa Davao Oriental. And having that mentioned haze, gusto natin ipakita short report that we did regarding that event, no, yung malakas na lindol sa Cebu naman. So, we'd like to show a video. We were able to show this last year. Gusto namin i-share sa ating mga viewers na nanonood, especially dito po sa Hope Channel South Philippines. Kasama po natin si Kuya Austin Recto. Hi, Kuya. He's watching right now. And si Sir Carmore Balladares. He's been a supporter of ADRA Philippines and the ministry in general. Andito din po si Ma'am Betty Jonggal Munday. And si Kapaglao May CMC. Hello po, Ma'am May. Magandang hapon din po sa inyo. Para sa ating mga nanonood, we would like to show you a short video report of what we did last year after the major earthquakes in Cebu. Let's watch this.
Last September 30, 2025, a 6.9 magnitude earthquake struck the province of Cebu. This continuous tremors caused widespread destruction, damaged infrastructures, weakened or collapsed homes, and countless lives deeply affected. Beyond the physical devastation, survivors continue to experience fear, shock, and emotional distress. Many are still struggling with the trauma of the disaster and the uncertainty brought by the ongoing aftershocks. In response, ADRA Philippines deployed its team to San Remigio, Cebu, and trained volunteers to provide psychological first aid or PFA as part of its emergency intervention. Now, PFA aims to help survivors regain a sense of safety, calm, and hope. The team facilitated meaningful activities including sharing of experiences, which gives the survivors a safe space to express their emotions and feel supported. Alongside psychological first aid, at the start of the Habagat season to Typhoon Tino, ADRA continued its other important humanitarian responses across the country through cash assistance and food pack distributions. With 2,571 families served in Luzon, 4,530 families in Visayas, and 1,395 families in Mindanao. These efforts ease emotional burdens, address urgent needs, and strengthen resilience, restore hope within communities. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our church partners, conferences, unions, and missions involved in these responses. We also express deep appreciation for the active participation of Adventist Community Services, or ACS, whose unwavering commitment continues to strengthen every phase of our operations. As a church, it is our mission to share the hope in Jesus, especially in moments of crisis. May our compassion and service continue to reflect His love to those who need it most. We invite you, everyone, to continue partner with ADRA Philippines by supporting our current and future emergency responses. Your donations help us respond quickly, provide essential relief, and bring hope to the communities affected by the disasters. This is Chantel Villavicencio from ADRA Philippines.
Ayun, nakita, and you were able to listen about our efforts of ADRA Philippines para naman po sa ating mga kababayan na salanta ng malakihang lindol sa Cebu, no? Hayes, nakapunta tayo doon, I think twice or once for you, and then twice for me, mga kaibigan, and it was heartbreaking indeed. No, masakit po siyang makita kasi iba din yung impact ng lindol sa bagyo. Pagbaha, parang nahuhugasan, nakakabalik ka sa bahay mo. Pag lindol, iba din yung epekto. And to me, as I've observed, psychological mas mano. Kasi the tremor, natatakot pa sila, ayaw nilang matulog sa mga bahay nila, and they're living in makeshift tent. So, let us continue to pray for the survivors, and yes, partner with ADRA on how we can extend our efforts to these families. And ngayon, makakausap natin ang person behind these different emergency responses ng ADRA Philippines. No? Siya po talaga, when I entered, siya din ang nagturo na sa akin, and I am so happy na makakausap po natin ngayong hapon via Zoom si Kuya Carl Mark Morta, ADRA Philippines Emergency Response Coordinator. Hi, Kuya Mark!
Hello, Shan. Good afternoon. And Hazel, good afternoon.
Hello, Kuya
Clear ba ko ba?
Mark. Yes.
Very, very
Okay.
clear, Kuya Carl. Kuya Mark! Sorry, Kuya Carl, Kuya Mark na final. Kuya Mark, would you like to greet family, friends? We'd like to give you the time.
Okay, so a warm greetings to all our families in Leyte, the Mortes family, Kapilitan family, and greetings as well to the ACS volunteers across the Philippines, and also maayong hapon, good afternoon to all ADRA staff, from Baguio down to Naga to MVC staff and to Laarni in Iloilo. And sa inyong dalawa dyan sa
Good. So si Kuya Mark is Bisaya.
Yes.
Lami good kayo mag-Bisaya. Pero we have our viewers watching from Luzon as well.
That's it.
Kuya Mark, you are our emergency response coordinator, and this afternoon we would like to ask you, talk to you, chikahan ng kuya, conversation on what's next for ADRA, especially in emergency response this year, 2026. The title of our episode ngayon, Hayes and Kuya Mark, is Built for the Next Crisis. Hindi na naman natin sinasabi na parang we're praying for the crisis, but it's really given evidence. It's a fact po na talaga na babagyuhin, may mangyayari sa Pilipinas. So kuya, my first question talaga is, as you look ahead sa 2026, ano ba yung ibig sabihin for you when it says built for the next crisis?
Okay, but before answering that, nakalimutan ko. Special shout out to Adventist Community Services Negros Occidental Conference, no? Kasi may distribution sila tomorrow. This is still in connection sa ating response last week. So, hello, God bless sa inyo bukas. Okay, going back sa question mo, Shan, for ADRA Philippines, belt for the next crisis means moving forward or moving from a active posture to a predictive, prepared, and people-centered response system. So na-mention ni Sean kanina, no, about our situation here in the Philippines, which is we are number one, no, this last year 2025. Then I remembered when I prepared a presentation about disaster ready church way back in 2023, number one din ang Pilipinas, no? It is because, mga kapatid, we are located, no, along the boundary of major tectonic plates, and we are at the center of a typhoon belt. Kaya in a year, nag-average po tayo ng 20 typhoons, no? So, um this year onwards, no, ADRA Philippines, we are visioning, no, na we are not just responding faster, we are responding smarter this time, no, onwards. This means having a pre-positioned system, no. In fact, we have already a system. ADRA as a whole has this National Emergency Management Plan, wherein this is a pre-planned emergency response na kung saan lahat ng plano, lahat ng mga intervention, response menu nandyan sa document na iyan, na kung mayroon tayong activation to respond a disaster, ay mabilisan na, alam na natin yung gagawin. We have already the teams na nagagawa. So, isa yan, no, na we have to pre-position systems, we have to train local responders, we have standby funds and anticipatory action mechanisms na dapat naka-in place na yun sila before the disaster strikes, no. Talking about mga systems, aside from NIM na mayroon tayo, ADRA as a whole, we also have right now this tool, no, itong platform na ginagamit natin, monday.com, which we have a recent partnership through their itong foundation nila, no, sa monday.com. So we are glad na nagkaroon tayo ng partnership sa kanila para mabilisan na yung ating mga data gathering and all. So talking about then sa we need to train local responders, kasi kung nakikita po ninyo, napapansin po ninyo, no, ang ating palaging nakakasama on the ground ay ang ating mga Adventist Community Services. Kaya we are very
Palakpakan
blessed.
po sa
Yes,
ACS.
ating bigyan talaga natin sila ng palakpak. Here for us here in the Philippines, we are very blessed. No, ADRA Philippines is very blessed because we have these partners, no, ang ating mga church members, Adventist Community Services, na very willing, no, very willing to join us and very willing to lend their hands, yung mga tulong nila, no, ma-in-kind man yan, but we really appreciate. This makes our work faster, no, smooth, tapos yun. Na-amaze lang po ako sa ganitong partnership that we have with our right now, no, right now, Sean and Hayes, for example, yung ongoing natin na response sa Negros, bukas magkakaroon pa ng distribution. But to tell you, wala pong ADRA staff po doon, no. We trust na yung kanilang mga skills. They know kasi na the system na mayroon tayo. Kumbaga na-transfer na din natin sa kanila. So, yun, nakikita natin yung ganong mga magandang effects, no, na ginagawa natin on the ground. And we need as well to train our young people, no? Kasi in every responses, marami ding mga young people na nagjo-join sa atin. So right now, for this year onwards, no, our management, our other Philippines management, so, may mga programa tayong pinupush through, sinuportahan yung ating mga programa like sa ating Disaster Ready Church which started way back mga 2 years ago, and now we added for our young people, no, itong ADRA Pathfinder Honors naman for our young people para as early as ganyang edad, alam na nila na we have this organization na tumututok sa mga ganitong sitwasyon, tumutulong sa mga taong affected families, tumutulong tayo and through that Pathfinder Honors, no. So ilan 'yan ng mga programa na ating gagawin. So, yan, no? Our aim for this year onwards is to be an organization that can scale up quickly, no? Without compromising yung ating mga quality, accountability, yung ating mga humanitarian standards. So, yan siya.
Ayun, thank you Kuya Mark, no? Parang na-encapsulate talaga ni
Yes.
Kuya Mark the title of our episode, which is Built for the Next
Parang
Crisis.
wala nang yung ibang
Parang
tanong.
okay
Char.
na. But I really like when Kuya Mark said na, yung sabi niya, respond not just
Faster,
but smarter. I think that's very important. Para sa ating mga nanonood, time is a very important element in times of crisis, no? Kasi marami pong buhay ang naghihintay, kaya dapat madalian. Kaya na-mention ni Kuya Mark na pasalamatan po talaga natin ng Adventist Community Services na sa churches po ng Seventh-day Adventist na Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao meron. Kasi sila po ang nagiging partner natin. Oras nila, Kuya Mark, no? Ang iba nga, nag-out sa work,
Mga professionals.
mga teachers, mga doctors, mga nurses, umaalis na sa work nila to spend time to volunteer. Iba nagre-repack, ang iba walang tulog, tapos pumupunta sa community para mahatid yung tulong. Kaya yun yung something that Kuya Mark, I believe, is really emphasizing to establish the systems now, train as many people as needed, even our young people, kasi we really do not know where and when the disaster strikes. But when it strikes, we have to be ready. Kuya Mark, Hazel has another question.
Yes, I think, Kuya Mark, you've already answered naman. Pero just to lang siguro, based on recent disasters, what key lessons are shaping how we prepare and respond more effectively in the future? Siguro, Kuya Mark, maybe you can cite a situation or a specific response, no, na nag-udyok sa'yo to, for example, yung ating partnership with Monday.com.
Oo.
Right?
Bakit kailangan
Yes,
sakto?
so, can you cite a specific experience of yours? And then share paano yun naging, kumbaga, lesson learned sa'yo and how we changed our systems or how we operate during emergency responses. Okay.
Just a quick overview, no, sa response na nangyari last year, 2025. ADRA Philippines able to reach 9 major responses last year, no? And nakapag-reach tayo to a total of 10,096 households, approximately nasa 31,000 individuals, with a budget nearly 20 million, no? So we praise God for that, donations coming from our partners, stakeholders. So sa question, if there's one thing recently na mga typhoons and disasters taught me or us, no, it is, for me, it is the first responders natin ay mga local. Yung kumbaga nakikita ko yung parang advantage, yung kagandahan if our first responders are always local, or yung ating mga Adventist community services or yung mga community mismo na nandoon sa affected na area, no? And lessons, one, Kasi if we have this local capacity kasi determines response quality. Kasi itong mga locals, alam kasi nila, no? Alam nila yung kanilang sitwasyon, alam nila kung ano yung mga needs ng mga affected families. So isa yan na advantage, isa yung lesson na natutunan ko din. And second is preparedness significantly reduces response delay. And yan, dahil nga we have these partners on the ground, kaya mabilisan ang nangyayari kahit nandito pa tayo sa country office, we are still writing situational reports, pero once we coordinated na sa kanila, we ask them, we request them to gather data doon sa MSWDOs, MDRRMOs, then mabilisan na nung data because of them. And then we have this lesson din na natutunan ko that ang ating pagiging flexible, no, especially sa ating mga response menus, sa ating mga modalities na ginagawa. Like for example, Sean mentioned, and Hazel as well mentioned, no, ang pag-integrate ng PFA during our interventions. Way back before, wala tayong ganitong response menu, but this time kailangan na talaga, no, kasi we also as ADRA Philippines, as a humanitarian organization, tinutugunan din natin, or we recognize that emergencies have both visible and invisible na impacts doon sa ating mga affected families. So kaya we integrate as well this PFA sa ating mga gawain.
Kita talaga ni Kuya Mark talaga yung mga pasa. And to everyone that's watching, yes, we have to really thank Monday.com also for making our database and collecting data smoother, mga kaibigan. Kasi data is very important din, no? Kailangan natin makilala, alam kung anong mga profile ng ating mga community na makakatanggap po ng tulong. Quick break lang, Kuya, before our next question. No? I'd just like to say hi sa mga nakikinig sa mga answers mo ngayon. Especially, andito din po si Gladys Castillo Tauto. Good PM, watching from Negros Occidental. Thank you, ADRA, sa cash giving allowance sa tanggap ng 9 areas of Negros Occidental, most affectedly by Typhoon Tino. Kilala mo ba ito, Kuya Mark?
Yes.
Ayun. Andito,
hello.
Ayun, dito din si Noven Pantonial. Hi, Nov! Kamusta? We have Maria. We also have here our project manager. We have Ma'am Geraldine Malion Gutierrez. Hello po. We also have Shaina. Nakikinig ating mga kasamahan sa ADRA Philippines right now. Kuya Mark, let's go to the next question, Hayes. No? Na-mention na kasi ni Kuya Mark na ngayon po sa ADRA Philippines, in the past, yung na-mention ni Kuya Mark ang response menu. Ayun. So, 'di ba, nagbibigay tayo either ng food packs or cash assistance, but just recently may dinagdag, 'di ba, Kuya Mark? At dinagdag natin ang psychosocial support na intervention naman. Kasi it's evident na hindi lang po physical ang naapektuhan. Ang psychological part din ng ating mga survivors, kailangan din natin na bigyan ng pansin. No? Kuya Mark, ito parang it's just a question na mas ma-expound lang siya. No? Mental health is increasingly recognized as a critical part or of emergency response. This 2026 ba, magiging ganyan din ba din ang picture if in case kailangan ng psychosocial support? Are you ready to, okay, part na talaga yan, even 2026?
Yeah, for other Philippines, yes, I think it's very important to integrate psychological first aid, psychological PSS, no? In terms of staff na gagawa niyan, we have you both, no? Na mga ano talaga diyan, no? Yun talaga yung background, mga psychologists talaga. You know what, mga kapaglaon, after every disaster, we usually hear people say na okay na kami, no? But behind that are sleepless nights nila, fear na whenever it rains again, no? fear kung baka maglindol na naman. And and mostly if you are exposed doon sa field, mostly ang mga kawawa itong mga kabataan, mga matatanda, mga kababaihan, no? Itong mga vulnerable na mga individuals na part sa ating society, no? That is why I mentioned kanina na itong mga invisible, hindi natin nakikita na mga impacts ng mga disasters, ito ay dapat din nating tugunan, no, through this program na PSS or psychological support.
Ayun.
And if you remember siya, no, nung nagkaroon tayo ng psychological first aid dyan sa Cebu, then we already completed, then we conducted post-distribution monitoring. Napakaganda ng result, no, ng ating ginawang survey, no, post-distribution monitoring. Akalain niyo mga kapatid, overall na satisfaction in terms of analyzing the data. There are around 99.3% na mga respondents na nagsabi na nagi nalipay sila, no? They felt happy or very happy sa ginawa nating intervention doon sa Cebu.
Wow.
In which nung nabasa ko yung result ba na i-share ko talaga kay Sean, sabi ko, Sean, na thank you for your team and sa ating mga volunteers, mga church members doon sa Cebu for making an impact doon sa ating mga recipients, no, doon sa Cebu. So napakaganda yung ating report, ang ating nagawang report doon na submit natin sa ADRA International and our stakeholders.
Ayun.
So yan, napaka-importante po ang itong programa PFA. Maganda ang epekto niya, and then it's really needed this time, no?
Ayun.
Ang mental health natin din dapat din natin.
Yes,
may
Kuya
support
Mark.
din tayo.
And ano talaga, nakikita yung puso ni ADRA or na the church or everyone that, no, ating mga stakeholders, the people who believes in this work. Kasi hindi ko makakalimutan, Hayes, diba, pagpunta natin doon, mga kaibigan, dun po, shout out pala sa ating mga volunteers, having that mentioned, Kuya Mark, ang Tambongon SDA Church sa San Remigio, Cebu Province. Gusto nating mag-hi, especially yung naging leader talaga nila is si Kern Hapitan, si Harvey. Hello po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat. Now, hindi ko makakalimutan, Kuya, nung dun tayo, Hayes, no, nag-set up na kami doon. Tapos, di ba, pag mamimigay yung people would expect pera or bigas, ganon. But I was parang overwhelmed with how they received it pag sinabing, Ma'am, kamustahan? Gusto lang namin makipag-usap. Alam mo, Kuya Mark, hindi ko man siya, ay, mo niya mong gihulat, yun, parang in Bisaya mo, sabi niya, ito talaga yung hinihintay namin. Kasi nga, kailangan nila, wala silang tulog dahil sa takot. Kasi even after I believe that was 6.9 in Cebu, that major earthquake, 1,000 aftershocks. Imagine the trauma that they have. Ayaw nilang matulog sa bahay nila. Tapos may isa pang sabi, Ma'am, mag-absent ako bukas. Kasi sabi namin, andun pa kami bukas. Absent po ako bukas sa work kasi pupunta po ako dito kasi I need this. And so, kailangan talaga na palakasin din natin for 2026 din to. Pero nakita naman ni Kuya Mark na ang need. Ayun, that's good news. That means mas maraming work with Hazel. We'll be praying po for that. Hazel,
Okay, so Kuya Mark, may another question po tayo, no? So, how is ADRA strengthening community resilience so families are better prepared before a crisis happens, not just after? So, probably, just a question, Kuya Mark, no? Siguro, are there any initiatives related to, publicly educating the people what happens in a crisis or what to do, ganon. So may mga ganong initiatives po ba tayo, Kuya Mark? Like, more like under siya sa preventive measures siguro.
Yes.
Oo.
Yep. We're putting more focus on preparedness at the community level, even though sa ating mga development projects, no, ini-integrate talaga natin yung preparedness sa ating mga interventions, sa ating mga programa. And with the emergency response unit of ADRA Philippines, one program na pwede nating isama no sa ating mga interventions is this disaster ready church training, no. The objective of this, the goal of this is to build the capacity of the local churches to respond effectively during disasters. And ang gusto din nating makita in the future that even small disasters, no, kahit walang mission, conference na support or walang support coming from ADRA, ang ating church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, will go out and maghatid ng tulong doon sa mga affected families. Yun yung ating parang goal for this initiative din na programa. So mga kapatid, mga kapaglaom, itong Disaster Ready Church initiative ay matagal na po to, no, na 2 years ago nag-start kami. In fact, we have several episodes din dito sa ADRA TV. Just to give you an overview, mayroon po siyang 4 pillars, no. May tinatawag na my church, my community, my team, my response na mga ito yung 4 pillars in which, like for example, sa ating my church tinuturuan tayo diyan to assess our church members, ano yung mga skills nila, where are they staying, saan sila, or ilan yung mga members na lalaki, babae, and so on. Sa community tinuturuan tayo on how to conduct proper assessment, rapid needs assessment, transit walk na mga activities tinuturuan tayo doon. Under my team, tinuturuan tayo ng mga teams, no, or their roles and responsibilities by each position. Like for example, emergency response coordinator, program managers, mga ganon, finance. So mayroong ganong sistema. And sa response, mga humanitarian standards and so on. Napakaraming topic in which if our church mayroon pong ganitong sistema, actually ang ginagawa natin, ADRA, no, we are just trying na yung ating system in which National Emergency Management Plan ay ma-adapt ng ating local church o ng ating mga ACS, in which tinatawag na natin na Church Emergency Management Plan. So this is one of the programs, and then yung ating Pathfinder Honors, and part sa Disaster Ready Church na doon yung ating psychological first aid na topic din. So isa yan na mga ginagawa natin for our preparedness na part.
Ayun. Yes, no, the Disaster Ready Church Initiative, mga kaibigan, it's still rolling out, no, especially sa ating mga ADRA Angels since 2022. Dun po talaga natin na i-share sa kanila ang inisyatibo ng Disaster Ready Church na hindi po tayo naging ready kasi after a disaster. Kailangan po talaga before the disaster, before it happens, we have to create systems, train people, kasi pag nangyari, yun na, may nagagawa na tayo. Kuya Mark, this would be our last question for you. Finally, Kuya, stressful kasi ikaw kasi emergency response sa'yo kasi hindi natin alam kung paggising mo, ang ganda ng panahon, pero pagka next month, ito nang nangyayari. So Kuya, ito yung last question. What gives you the peace, no, na ADRA is ready for the next crisis?
Yeah, what gives me confidence, mga kapaglaom, is not just our system, no? Not just the National Emergency Management Plan, but ang nakikita ko talaga personally, or ang nakikita ko, na-observe ko sa ating mga staff sa ADRA Philippines, is that they have this heart and commitment, no? Imagine mga disasters na nangyayari. Nakikita natin yung mga teams natin, mga ADRA staff natin, they respond to typhoons, they respond to floods, klaseng disasters na meron tayong sa Pilipinas, often working long hours, no, away from families, no. I remember the story of Bridgin, no, pumunta sa Calayan Island, no, away from family. Si Shan, buti si Shan ay
Ayun,
Nadala
ano,
niya yung family niya, mga ganun. And then, nagsasakripisyo tayo, no? But ang ano dyan is because I believe po, no, na itong ating mga ADRA ay ano talaga, inaano yung mission, no? Ano yung mission natin, yung purpose natin is to serve humanity so all may live as God intended. So sinasapuso, yun yung term na nasa isip ko. Sinasapuso talaga namin yan, no, as mga humanitarian workers, no?
ayun.
And I remember this line from Sister White, no? Sister White, sabi niya na yung Christ method alone, no? So for us to be effective, yun, ang Christ method alone will give us, yung sabi niya, true success in reaching people. So mga ganun. So my last line siguro to our listeners this afternoon is that, especially to our donors as well, no? Partners, na ADRA Philippines, our kumbaga, ADRA Philippines will continue, no? Will continue to respond with competence, no? With competence, compassion, and accountability. Making sure po, mga kapatid, sa aming mga donors na nakikinig ngayon, to our stakeholders, making sure that every action, no, ng ating ng ADRA Philippines reflects both humanitarian excellence, no, and our core values. So, yan. Yan.
Thank you very much, Kuya Mark, no? ADRA will continue to respond, sabi ni Kuya Mark. Ano yun daw, yun yung tatlo? With competence, with compassion, and with accountability. Ayun. Maraming salamat, Kuya Mark, na isingit mo kami sa iyong busy schedule as the Emergency Response Coordinator with the other things that you have to do for the organization. We will continue to pray for you and for the Philippines as a whole. No, may God bless us this 2026. Hindi po natin alam kung ano po ang susunod na mangyayari, but we have been able to learn in the past na disasters could happen, calamities could happen, that we can be prepared by being prepared by preparing for it. So Kuya Mark, thank you very much. We'll be praying for you. Ayan. Yun na mga kaibigan, no? 1 hour is very short for a conversation as impactful as this, Hazel. Ano natutunan mo this afternoon?
Siguro, Ate Shad, ang natutunan ko talaga, not just dito sa episode, sa discussion natin this afternoon, but the entire experience of being part of this cause is, di ba na-mention mo earlier that Philippines is a top one.
Yeah, World
Risk Index. But for me, Philippines may top the WRI, but I think with the help of science, political will,
Yes.
and then, naka-notes kasi yan eh. Preparation, preparedness, and especially our faith in God. We don't have to stay there sa top. So hopefully, with all our heart to help other people, ay at least mais natin yung burden na nakatira tayo dito sa Pacific Ring of Fire.
Ayun, sa Pilipinas. Hopefully sa susunod, no, we can have a broadcast and sabihin natin na, top 10 na lang tayo sa world is hindi ng top 1. Pero let's all continue to pray. I really love what Hazel said, especially sa last na part, yung faith, no? Our faith does not mean na we just sit down and wait for disasters to happen to us. Our faith should enable us to work, to do, that these disasters can be prevented sa ating pamilya at sa ating community. Again, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng nanonood. As we close today's episode, we extend our heartfelt thanks to everyone who joined us, sa lahat po natin ng viewers, ADRA Angels, stakeholders, partners, volunteers, and supporters. Maraming salamat.
Yes, and we would also like to recognize and thank our ADRA family, our dedicated co-workers, project teams, and field staff across the country. Again, your commitment, compassion, and hard work make this mission possible every single day.
Yes, and isang malaking pasasalamat po sa ating partners dito sa Hope Channel South Philippines at sa lahat po na behind the camera. Thank you very much for walking with us, for working with us as we serve families and more communities across the Philippines. This has been ADRA TV, where hope is built into action.